Today, I'm going to name this recording The Shining Singing Cells, and the word of the day is symphony. I'm outside, the skies are beautiful, little fluffy white clouds at the moment. So, this morning I started thinking about the whole pandemia all over again and how affected our lives in many different ways, and how it's affecting my life at the moment because I'm gonna be losing my job very soon, which I've had for 24 years, and but I'm not doing the mandatory ask, which some people who think they have authority over me decided to make me do. And by the way, I've lived in Eastern Europe and ran out of that country just because of that very same reason. And I cannot believe I'm going through the same thing here all over again. In any event, putting this aside, I just wanted to, I started thinking about how this mandatory fluid may affect the physical structure of the body down to the cellular level and down to the biofield expression, which is this intelligent expression of energy, of electromagnetism, of sound. And it's a living structure, it's a living consciousness. So, living consciousness, intelligent living consciousness, which is expressed in matter, being the physical body. So what is happening if this mandatory fluid gets injected into the physical structure? So I started thinking about this, and as I mentioned before, each cell is a reflection of every other cell in the physical organism, and each cell sings a song. The whole body sings a song. The whole body has its own specific tone, which nobody else has. Each physical structure has a very specific frequency, so to say, assigned to it, which is so unique as our fingerprints, as unique as not two snowflakes are alike. I spoke about this prior, where chaotic systems exhibit periodic behavior, well-known phenomena in physics. And so what is going to happen on the physical level if this fluid is accepted? So I heard somewhere a physician was saying the physical may become like a producer of spike proteins, which is not natural, and it may have many different side effects, especially for women. But that's a different conversation. I'm not a medical specialist, although I do align with this information to a big extent, and I've already heard people close to me talk about similar side effects, so to say. So I think this conversation will be more in terms of not as much as the degradation in the physical structure as it goes into the electromagnetic sound expression of it, not only on the local level, which I talked about before as well, but also in multidimensional layers. So if we are this unique frequency, which everyone of us is, then we're this unique symphony, or we're singing this unique song, and we're an expression, we're a reflection of the light. Actually, I was looking at this car just before I started talking. Let me see if I can show you. So I don't know if you can see it, how the light is shining straight on the metal, and the metal reflects the light. But also there is an absorption of light as well. So not being able to reflect the light, but absorption of the light. So it almost felt like if the liquid is accepted on the physical level, aside from all the physical consequences, the consequences will be for the biofield localized and distributed through multidimensionality as well. How? What I'm envisioning is, and I mentioned this before, our energetic centers, they rebalance themselves through the main fourth heart energy center, and they recombine with toroidal movements, spinning toroidal movements through the heart center, where they neutralize. So the heart is like this neutral, shifting horizontal lever, so to say, and the energy, spinning energies, are going from 1, 7, 2, 6, 5, 3, and vice versa, adding to the number 8, which is the number of infinity. So infinity and 0, they recombine in and neutralize in the heart center. And also there is such, this field is a living field. It has dynamicity, which is incredible. It has color and it has sound. And it's a God creation. It's an organic God creation. Our blueprint is given to us by God. It's unique. This is who we are. So inject this liquid into the body. It's almost like it's going to disturb, and I also mentioned in one of my recordings, which I called We're Made Out of Nothing, because we're made of hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. And these elements, especially the hydrogen, has like 1 electron and the positive nucleus, and that's it. So this is like 99.9% of nothing. It's just this pulse and this energy which recombines everything. So what I'm thinking is this liquid may disturb the atomic vibrational structure to the base level of our 4 elements, to the basis of, so to say, of our frequency. And it may not immediately manifest, or may not even at all manifest in the physical structure. But is this important? I think it's extremely important, because we not only have frequency and vibration from every single cell level to an organ, to a physical body, and to outside of us, and we are, so to say, uniquely singing our symphony. We are also a reflection of the light, and we are a reflection of this sacred geometry, which expresses in whatever we are, what we see here in front of us. So and we also have this biofield, which has its own specific charge. It's like a charge of the field, and the way I envision this is when the physical matter ends, then the field recollects itself, and this charge goes back to, I used to call that whole thing like mama wave, because we're all in this humongous, most likely uncomprehendable by human mind, wave going in and out. It's almost like a breathing wave, like it's going in and out in an accordion wavy form, or like the slinkies kids play with. So this wave, and we're like, at some point I used to think of me as a little baby wave with my own specific characteristics, but I'm still attached to the mama wave, and as is everyone else. And when the physical form ends, whatever charge and information, and I spoke about this before, collected within the electromagnetic package goes back to the mama wave. And this process is like part of the evolution. So what I envision happening in this time of day on the planet, it's almost like we're given the opportunity to expand upon the biofield, the local biofield, and attach to a field, or more like embed with a field which is around it. So let's say if we're in the 3rd dimension, and there is a 4th dimension shell, and then is the 5th dimension, and the 6th and the 7th, and then there is a shell which is the shell 8, and then it's 9, 7, 10, uh, wait, what am I talking? So then it's 9, 10, 11, and the shell is 12, and 13, 14, 15, and the shell 16. And this is pretty much where my awareness of somewhat less materially dense and more light creation exists. I'm sure there are many different universes and different creations, and each one has its own laws. But I think the one we are in here now, and let me mention the platonic solid, so that again in the sacred geometry. So in the third dimension, if the tetrahedron is the main building block, then the fourth dimension is the shell, and it's like a cube. And then fifth dimension would be what, the pentagram, and so on and so forth. And also here now we know we have our DNA is braided from three strings. It's 3 base pairs, and this is how the 4 letters of our DNA, ACTG, they attach. There is a law that there are like 3 base pairs, A, B, C. They only attach in one specific way. I mean, that's much science knows. But there are 3.2 billion codes, and we've only decoded 64,000 of them. And I mentioned before, it's like a human base in this dimension, 3-dimensional world, is probably just a 64-bit operating system. It's like 2 to the power 6. And if you look at the binary code, exactly, the binary code, the 0000111, it's like a 3-string binary code for a 64-bit operating system, 2 to the power 6. If we expand the next layer, then all of a sudden, everything which was known as junk DNA would be decoded, and then will become to the power of 12 operating system. And what does this mean for the physical system? It means some incredible miracles are going to start to happen. We'll be able to rejuvenate, we'll be able to regenerate organs and structures, and who knows, there's some miracles which are even unthinkable at this point. Will be accessible to us. But this is in terms of the field which is around us. And then in this new dimensional field, we will not only have one braided 3-string DNA, but we'll have 2 more. And each one of them, the 2 additional, will have 3-string braids as well. And those, I don't have 3 hands, but those 3 braids, they will be interwoven, they'll be braided as well. So this will be an unbelievable expansion on the physical and metaphysical, etheric level as well. And this is like the connection to, let's say, this expansion to more into the spiritual world, closer connection to the Creator, to God, to the intelligent universal force, however you name it. So, and I think what this fluid does actually, and it may be very well programmed, I don't have a lot of information. I know through, I've done some, I've studied QHHT, the Laura Scannon technique, and I've experimented with some of my friends, quite a few, amazing stuff. So I know many of them actually, long time ago, they found themselves in caves, and they found themselves on experimental medical tables. So the human body most likely has been used for experiments on all levels, not just the physical, but this enhanced field level as well, where the consciousness, pretty much, where the consciousness lives. So who knows? Maybe different consciousnesses, they experimented with sacred geometry, with pushing inwards things into the soul, which would serve as a portal of this specific soul to wherever they wanted, for example, to go when the physical ends. So maybe all of this is like pre-programmed through sacred geometry, and it's not even as important as what's going on the material level at this point, but it's more important, all those electromagnetic charges going through portals to locations where they've been pre-programmed to go to, versus to where organically they would go. And then I think this is why it's extremely important. And we're all saying we have free will, we have choice. We do have choice. At this time of day, we do have this choice. And if you are looking inward and you feel that this is something you cannot do, don't do it, because your soul is talking to you. It's telling you, if you do this, you may be okay for now, but this is just a blip of time. A blip of time being here and now. You have a choice of where, so to say, um, where to shoot your soul. And not only when I think it's amazing this time, because it's not just when the physical end. I think what's going on in the moment is we're still in this physical body, and we're expanding our consciousness expressed in these electromagnetic and sound fields, while we are not going through the ending of the physical body. It's happening in real time while we are existing the way we think we existed before. But by the way, I don't think we're existing the same way, the way we used to exist before. I can tell by myself. Sometimes it gets really strange, especially when I drive and my brain goes into like an alpha mode. I feel like I'm in the past and the present, and somewhat in some place which is maybe future, or it's like everything is mixed. It's like mixed realities. And my old house, my new house, my life in Eastern Europe, it's all like it's a mix. It's almost like everything is like in this mix of being happening at the same time, and time as a continuum. It's like time is linear. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like quantum time. The thing is, I think in many instances I can tell this by myself. The places where I go, where I've had very strong emotions, I'm still magnetized to those places, and I get into this timeline from the past, and I'm me from the past. So I fully experience me from the past, although I know it's not the same. So it's almost like, depending on how magnetized those memories were through emotions, most of the time, we may get into a different timeline. It's specific, but everything is at this point, everything is recombining. It's truly amazing. And as a human who's used to, we've used to know our schedules, go through our linear way of living, and achieve certain goals, and go to school, go to college, get a good job, have a family, retire, have a good life. This is not the case anymore for most of us. So I think what is happening is, if people are either cognitively dissonant to what is going on from many different angles, or if they're denying all of this just because they're afraid, this is a big deal. This is huge. Then they just want to revert quickly back to the safe solution. Do as you know. How do you know this is safe? How do you know this is safe? So again, look inside of yourself and ask the question, is this really something I want to do? And this is a blip of time, very short period of time. And I do understand, I'm very worried about all of my friends and relatives. I rarely know somebody who thinks the way I do. They all went through the process. I'm extremely worried, especially for the children. What's going to happen moving forward? I don't know. But if this message helps someone to think about, it's almost like, ask yourself, is this something I want to do? And you'll hear the answer, yes or no. And no matter how scared you are, just listen to your answer, because your soul knows. Many of these things, you've signed your contracts before you showed up in this physical body, as ridiculous as this sounds. Your soul knows what you are supposed to be doing. Go within and ask the question. So I just wanted to show some of my drawings again. Just because thinking of the Universal Symphony and the orchestra, and each one of us playing our own instrument in this humongous universal orchestra where the God, the creator, conducts everything, but we are also left in this evolutionary process. So yesterday, I think I talked about the diamonds of light and how everything is recorded in the light, and the basic element being a tetrahedron, and then here comes a diamond, which is created by an up and down tetrahedron full of light. That's the information from a lifetime, and you're absolutely connected with your parents, mom and dad, both sides of the body, the balancing. There are the rivers of diamonds of light, of memory, to the left and to the right, which flow through you, and you're horizontally connected with them as well. So, and also we are part of this pulse, and the pulse is like in the minus plus 3 realm, back and forth, in the minus plus 6 realm, minus plus 9, minus plus 12. So this is what I wrote here is it's one huge pulsating field, and so the parameters of the field, so the diamond, I'll show you this in a sec. So the diamonds go vertically, but then there are like circular spheres which go around the diamonds, and this pulsating field back and forth, in and out. Remember the emerald tablets? What is below, that's above, and what's in, that's out. That's similar. And then in the middle of this field, of course, is the present moment, or that neutralized point, or the 0 point where magic happens. That place is almost like when everything shifts, then this is when the recording, the magic happens, and we're playing in a discrete movie. This is where we are like the photons. They say a photon is both a particle and a wave. So is the human. We're playing in this discrete movie, moment by moment by moment. Gets recorded, and we think it's continuous. But we create our reality based on the discrete moments and the waves which go through us. And if we only knew how to control thoughts and emotions, to create this beautiful imagery in every single moment, we won't give it a chance not to manifest. So, and many of these things, they've been either hijacked, in so to say, the matrix, they've been hacked, geometry, sacred geometry, numbers, universe is a mathematical universe. Many things in the solar system have been twisted, so to say. So I think this will be more of a meditative way of looking at those geometries. They always rebalance. It's almost like the body knows what's looking at. It goes home. It relaxes the whole structure somehow. And my drawings, these ones are without color, just with pencil, so I hope you can see them. I just want to mention that I'll show two different views of the same thing, of the harmonic waves, and the constant interaction between the fields from level 3 to 12, and how one in the plus is like the kinetic expression of the light, and the one in the minus is the potential and the dark. So here it comes, the first drawing here. I hope you can see it. This is like the diamonds and the different layers and the spheres around them. And this is the other one, which is the potential kinetic harmonic wave with embedded. I think this is really bad here. Hope you can see it. With the embedded waves. Just look at this. Look at the harmony of it, and think, and just look at the center, the 0 point, and ask yourself, is this something my soul wants me to do? Alright, that's all for today.